Hi, my name is Cédric Lerouge. I'm the CEO of Adexma. I'm here to give you a short video about building a list of your top customer to prepare an IDD plan. So some people have challenges with analytics and putting those type of number together and list. So I prepare a short template for you. I'm going to scan through how to use it. If you have trouble, any challenges about actually using the template and plugging the data, we will try to make it as simple as possible. Please email me. It would be inside the description of the video as well as the template. So I'm going to jump now into the template and see how it works and show you some pretty neat trick inside the template. So let's go. Share my screen. Here we are. So as I said, the goal is to prepare a top tier customer, and you can have at least and prepare an IDD plan with it. Question is how to tier a customer, what level you're going to do that. That tool is going to help you doing that. If you are evaluated and if you're concerned not only about your revenue but about your margins, there's the exact same type of list here on the side. So you can pick and choose what you want to focus on. You want to focus on your revenue, or you want to focus on your margins, on the tier 1 margins. So let me show you how it works. Step 1 is you're going to your data tab. I made all the calculation for you, and you're simply going to need to copy and paste the data. So what data am I referring to? It's a pretty simple set of data. It should be the sample. You can put that template as well for you to ask your CFO, your accountant, or if you're pretty good with Excel and data, you can extract the data yourself and plug it in. You simply need to put together the current revenue, the current margin by customer. So what do I mean by current and then past revenue and margin? I mean, year to date, for example, it could be a good exercise. You compare this year to date compared to the year prior. You stop at the same month to have an equal comparison. Or you can compare the last 6 months compared to the 6 months prior that, or the last quarter compared to the quarter prior that. It's up to you. Here, that sample data that I put together is a year-to-date comparison versus a year-over-year comparison. So I have that sample data. I select my data that I retrieve. I copy the information, and I'm going to come in the template and simply paste it here. And I, as you may have noticed, don't take the headers, just put the data inside. It will push through all the calculation required to build that tiering customer list. Make sure that you're on ascending order by revenue. I'll show you later on. You can actually sort it as well by margins. Okay. All right, so you got your data in. That's it. All the calculations are done. Now it's time to take a good look at your data and see what you're going to need to adjust and what you're going to go for. I'm a believer that the top customer, at least per sales rep, should be fairly small. So what I mean by that, I mean, if you have about a dozen very strong customer, 10, 20 top customer, depending what you sell and so forth, you want to really narrow down that number as much as you can if you want to bring the level of customer care that you want to your tier customer. So here I have a breakdown that is the top 50% of revenue, the next 30%, which made my 80%. We talked about sometimes the Pareto rule, 80-20, and the next 15 and 5%. All that create 100% of course of your revenue. If I was applying, let's say, just give you some example of how you can actually break out that information. If I was to put 80-20 and the rest, I just want to break my customer list in two. Give me my the list of customer for 80% of the revenue. And the Pareto rule here is fairly true. We see that we have 21% of a customer bringing 80% of the revenue, okay? But it's nice, but like I mentioned earlier, this gives me a very large customer number, top tier customer. So I'm not going to be able to achieve what I was looking for in terms of premium service, paying really attention to that group personally. So I'm going to go back to that breakout, that making nice and smooth, grabbing as a top tier, the top 50%. So here I'm just copying and pasting just the value, and it will do my breakout for me. Now I got 80 customer that I can put on my top customer list and work with them. What's interesting is that this is only 50% of customer from the prior period. So those are 50% new customer. I give you another breakout here to give you an idea of what's going on with your customer base. So you can see how your customer list is flowing in and out of your customer portfolio. There's a life cycle of your customer base, as you know. It should be around 78% year over year. With the crisis we're facing right now, I would not be surprised that you're below, and that number is very generous for some industries. So keep a good look, see what you used to have in terms of repeat customer percentage, and see if it changed. And if it goes way lower than usual, you obviously have a turnover that you're not used to. So some nice breakout for you, all calculation just made. What you realize too is 50% of a revenue with 5% of a customer, it only create a 34% of your margin, okay? So it's not an even 50% of revenue and 50% of margin. It does make sense. Your top customer will require better pricing, volume, rebate, and so forth. So you may end up having, it's not unusual to have discrepancy here of percentage. So that's why I like to have those two side by side. It gives me a reminder of that situation, that yes, they have a high volume and I need to pay great attention to them, but they're not per se all the time the greatest margin contributor. So I have another table where I can do the same type of exercise and break it out by tier like I did it here, or by simply 2 or 3 as well, depending on what you're looking for. But that one seems to work pretty well. Last point on that summary, and spend time to question those numbers and see what's going on with your business and your customer portfolio. Here you have a very smooth line going from 0% of the revenue, 0% of the number of customer, to 100% of your revenue, 100% of your customer. So we find that 80% with 21% of customer point in the curve. Here we have 50% of the revenue and 5% of the customer. So this is the line, and this is the graph of that table. So what's going on here? This is your last customer. This is the non-repeat customer that I was insinuating to over here. For that sample data, it represents 300K. On a $2 million business, this is significant. This is 15% of the revenue that did not repeat, that no longer exist. So that's why I break it out, and that's why they're gonna show up on terms of list of customer right there. If you change the percentage, you add your data. Here we're into a pivot table. It's essential to have a right number to refresh the table as such. So here we're good. You get your customer list. If you know that those customers are new customer, growing customer, shrinking customer, customer that have a sales that is reducing compared to the two period, and those two customers that you used to be tier one that are no longer customer at all, they're gone. So as you challenge yourself about the next 90 days and you plan for that, maybe good to contact them and see what happened. Why are they no longer with you? Was it a one-off? Was it something happened in your business? Something happening to their business? Makes an assessment of what is happening. Same thing for new customer. Make sure you stay engaged with them so you keep on growing and so forth. So here's your list built up for you, ready for you. Now I'm switching to margins. Now margins are color-coded in green, and as I said, you can change those percentage. I'm going to keep it the same breakout that the revenue for consistency. If I wanted to see a smooth curve, I can simply order my data on the margin side of things. And I go back to my summary. Now I have a smooth growing percentage of my margin, and the effect is happening on the other side. I have some up and downs in terms of a revenue. I personally prefer to keep it on the revenue side. It reminds me that make me focus on the top customer in terms of revenue, but keep an eye on the margin side of things. That's it. I hope this is useful. There's a ton of information. You see, with just a few columns, right? The name of your customer, your current revenue, your current margin, your past revenue, your past margin. You can do a lot of stats very quickly. So I can imagine it can be overwhelming for some people. So hopefully that template help you out to carry through and understand, who are my top customers that I want to take action on the next 90 days. And I just want to thank everybody to stay listening to the video, and giving me some feedback will be great. Leave them on the comment. Tell me what you like, what you want me to do differently. I know it's a very fast-paced explanation, but you pause the video, come back, and if you have any trouble at all to use the template, I'm going to put my email for you to email me and get through it. If you want to suggest any other topic or quick analysis like this that can help you, your small business to move forward and refocus over the next 90 days, please let me know. I'll be happy to take a look at it. So please subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. So thanks again.